Hello, I'm Dr. Mira Irons, President and CEO of the College of Physicians of Philadelphia. Welcome to the latest in our series, College Conversations, Medicine, Science, and Society. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Ted Kreider, MD, PhD. Dr. Krider is a current fellow in infectious diseases and postdoctoral research at the University of Pennsylvania. He received his MD, PhD from the Perelman School of Medicine at the University of Pennsylvania. Following clinical training in internal medicine and infectious diseases, he joined Dr. Drew Weissman's laboratory, where he has been applying the RNA lipid nanoparticle technology developed by Dr. Weissman to HIV cure efforts and HIV vaccine immunogen design. Outside of his basic and translational research, Dr. Kreider has worked to improve educational access and mentorship in STEM careers to local high school students and college students who identify as underrepresented. In collaboration with the Center for Education at the college, he founded the Out for STEM after-school program here at the college in 2013. More recently, he served as the Associate Director of the Penn Summer Program in Infectious Diseases Research and Course Director for the Penn Center for AIDS Research Summer Scholars Program HIV Seminar Series. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
All right. Well, we're excited to have you. There's so many things we can talk about. We can spend like an hour talking about the research that you're doing, but I'd really like to focus on the work that you do for the college and the work that you've done for the college and for the kids that come through our programs. So you've spent several years working with the students from the college's Out for STEM program. How did you first become acquainted with that program?
I was approached by people here at Penn who are fellows at the college, and they told me about somebody named Jackie Bowman, who is the director of education at the Mutter's after-school programs, that she was looking for somebody who was interested in outreach, particularly developing a new program for queer identified youth. And as somebody who says yes to a lot of things and is very eager to give back to the community that I'm a part of, I viewed this as an opportunity to get off of Penn's campus and go do something that is exciting and also feels like I'm helping others, because that's something that's always been incredibly important to me. I knew the right people who put me in touch with Jackie, and from there it was history. We met like 2 times and already decided we had a start date. We were ready to go. We knew what the first event was, and we just ran with it.
Well, that's great. Well, we're really grateful that you said yes to that opportunity. What compels you to devote your time to mentoring queer students interested in careers in science?
The main thing is having mentors myself. It took a little bit for me to think of myself as someone who could mentor others, but I really value the insight into my career and my professional development that people who knew me gave me. And so I want to do that for others. I think one of the reasons that we have poor representation by so many groups in STEM and medicine is that people can't envision themselves doing it. They can't envision the person who goes into it and sees what they do every day. And I was lucky, I stumbled into it. I found the career that's the most amazing thing ever. And there's nothing special to it. I wanted to show people it's totally possible. You could be whoever, you can do it. You just have to be passionate about it. And then I think the most important thing is passion, because then if you're passionate about it, you'll keep working on it and you'll keep at it. And that's the most important aspect, I think. But yeah, so it's my own mentors making amazing examples for me and then realizing I could do that for others.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I think physicians, the medical profession, scientists, we really like to support our bench. Every physician, scientist likes to talk to young people about what they do, right? And I think that they like to actually help people and don't realize how important it is for somebody to just have sort of be at your back. You can bounce concerns off of, you can bounce questions off of, give you a little push when you need that push, that I think you can do it push, you're overthinking it. And, it's the perfect example of paying it forward. And I think that it's exactly what you're doing.
And we do it for each other. I think people see physicians as having this very outward facing, strong front. But I talk to my colleagues all the time. I run things by them. We all get each other's advice all the time. It's a constant process. No one's figured it all out. And so I think the more that we can show people what it really is, I think people will be able to access that and find that thing that really clicks with them.
Yeah. And I think it's really important for young people to see people who are established and older in the profession asking questions to their colleagues and running issues by them, because it reinforces what you just said. I mean, nobody knows everything and not everything is as it seems, but understanding who you can go to for help is really important. And, being vulnerable and asking those questions is really important. And that's just something big to really teach young people, because everyone feels when you're 16 or 17 that you have to know everything. And, sometimes the right answer is, I don't know, but can you help me find out? Right.
Whenever I'm in a group of young people, I often get things wrong and I point out to them. I'm like, I got it wrong. That's okay. It's okay to get it wrong.
Yeah.
You just have to pick yourself back up, find out what the right answer is. You don't have to know everything.
Exactly. And it's that picking yourself up and finding the right answer. And sometimes that actually requires you to just ask somebody, or who do I go to for that right answer? And I think those are really important for young people to learn.
I wholeheartedly agree. We're on the same page.
Yeah. So I think you've kind of answered this, but the next question is, did you have mentors that guided you on your journey? And I think even more importantly, like if you have to identify a few qualities of the mentors that you've had that you feel helped you the most, what might that be?
It's a fantastic question. And it's one that I think about every stage, because this training has so many stages where there's a transition, where you're going from, I'm a college student applying to med school or the MD PhD program, and then I'm applying to residency. And at every time I have to sit back and I have to reevaluate. I have to think about who I am and what I want to do. And thinking about the mentors and the roles that they played is always a crucial part of it. And so I collect mentors. Everyone has a different role. They all are people that I go to. So one of the things that I always tell young people is no one person knows the truth. No one person has the answer. You get a bunch of opinions, and the truth for you is somewhere in the middle. I'm lucky that I didn't need a lot of opinions because my mentors have been fantastic. And so they get pretty close to the truth for me. But I think the key things, one, not necessarily in your field. It doesn't have to be somebody who does everything that you think you want to do. They just have to be familiar enough. And bigger than that is they have to care about you. They have to be invested in your success, and they have to want to push you forward. And I think so much of academia and moving forward is about the evaluations that you get and the evaluations that you give. And one of the things that I've done is I always seek out advice outside of that. And I think people get trapped in that summative evaluation, and that's the only thing. But your relationship with people beyond that, it helps you build. It helps you change the way that you act moving forward. So I would say conversations, not just what does the form say that you get from your teacher in a 4,000 person organic chemistry lab. Like, no, getting the conversations, getting in with the person, learning about what they think you need to succeed, and getting to know them so that they can help you succeed. So I think personal relationships, people who are invested in you, and then similar, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't want to keep disregarding people because they don't fit the bill perfectly.
Exactly. A physician scientist is a great example of someone that has a clinical persona and also has a science, laboratory persona. And that requires like two people. You might have a clinician mentor that kind of helps you understand how to take care of your patients and, give bad news or give good news or be there for them. And then there's the whole, basic scientist laboratory piece that I think you have to live to understand.
You have to straddle. It's one of those things. I wear different hats in different places, and here I'm Dr. Kreider, here I'm Ted, the person who's running the assay down the hall. You can see I'm in lab right now. I think when you define what you want to do, it doesn't have to fit into a single bucket, and you can forge new paths. That's okay. But you have to get people's experience in it. And I think you highlighted the perfect thing of like, it depends on the person for what you need the advice for. And I think that tailoring is tough for trainees because they want somebody who's going to give them the answer. And it's never the case. But I think you hit it on the head. So I'm very lucky. I have multiple advisory committees that oversee my training right now. And one is in infectious diseases, which is a clinical specialty that I am a doctor in and I provide care in. And then I have a research mentoring committee who has a totally different set of objectives. They don't think about the fact that I'm taking care of patients. They think about my research productivity and the future. And it can feel daunting to straddle that, but I would encourage young people to find the area where you're okay doing that straddling. So find the things in the career that you want where none of it feels burdensome or like work, and then you're okay with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So switching a little to the college, after being involved with the college for several years, you've been nominated for fellowship this fall. Why have you decided to become a fellow?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I finally became eligible. Having the great opportunity to be involved with the college so early on in my career. It wasn't even my career. This is just my training. I was a med student when I started. I realized what a special place it is. And I considered myself lucky to get to know the people there and the work that you all do. And so it's always been something that I wanted. And as soon as I was eligible and I got nominated, I said, yes, I'm so excited. I think the mission is incredible. The work is incredible. And I sincerely am just so excited to be a part of it.
Great, great. How would you like to see the fellowship get more involved with the college and the students that we serve?
So this may be the pandemic talking because I'm so starving for in-person interaction, but just bringing people together. I think that's the magic. And we've lost so much of it over the past 2 years that our interactions are not as meaningful as a result of it. And it's made me realize the importance of one-on-one in-person interactions. And so seeing that person who's a decade into their career, 2 decades into their career, who has lived a life worth of experiences that you can learn from, I think that's just so valuable for all of these students. And so I think direct interaction, small groups, this isn't the thing where we need to have these big events that are going to be a ton of work. I think if we can just get people to come into the room and talk about what they find interesting, it goes from there. That's all you need. We all love talking about what we do. Right. We talk too much.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, Ted, it has been so much fun talking to you. And I know we could go on forever, but I always give the people opportunity. Any final thoughts, any final words?
I'm just so excited to continue working with the college. I'm so excited about the directions that all of the students from the after-school programs are going. Going to the graduation this past summer was a wonderful experience. Just so exciting. I'm just excited for the future. That's what I'm excited for.
Oh, that's great to hear. And I think, we try to do a lot in our youth programs, but I think perhaps the most important thing that we do is we give hope and we show a path. And you do that by sort of showing a path and introducing these young kids to people who understand their context and who know how to help them. And they're just great examples. So you and your colleagues that you introduce these young people to are just giving kids a lot of hope.
We're excited to do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk today. And thanks to all of you for listening. We'll be back again with another episode of College Conversations, Medicine, Science, and Society soon.